G'day and welcome back to another DBZ Legends video. In this video we are going to take a look at the special Elite Warrior N event. So this is another story event that has been re-released during the anniversary, and this is Elite Soldier N, where you can get the Nappa Young character, it's just another free-to-play character. Honestly, I think out of most of the current free-to-play options that are up, Nappa isn't really the best. He's not like going to be a unit you're going to be using a lot. You can maybe use him as a Purple Saiyan option, but for the most part, he's not really a unit that I can foresee myself even using. I think for the most part, he's okay. He doesn't really inspire me with a lot of confidence. He's not like super duper usable. He's not a unit that's going to give you a lot, but he might do some interesting stuff, especially for new players. There's also two pretty decent equipments that you can pick up, which is always something solid at least. Plus, it's a very rare kind of character. I mean, how often do you see young Nappa in any kind of Dragon Ball Z game, or just anything really in general? Obviously, you're going to have to do the first stage. In the first stage, you are going to essentially just unlock Nappa. So you can use whichever team. I'm using a full event exclusive team, but you don't have to. You can use whatever you want to. There's no reason to do things fully event exclusive. There's no like special reward or special thing that happens to you. Ideally, you want to actually use the bonus characters, so the ones that I showed on screen, which was obviously Nappa himself, the other Extreme Nappa, the Goten and the Trunks. You probably want to use those guys, since that's actually going to increase your reward drop rate. So I would suggest obviously using those guys. That's really going to help you out. Now, the challenges for these stages are pretty straightforward. For all of them, they're pretty simple. So a lot of them require using a purple character, using less than 2 characters, clearing with taking only a certain amount of damage. And when you complete these challenges, it's going to actually give you the soul boost, or the souls, to raise Nappa's soul boost. So that's pretty valuable. Then there are some event missions. Most of them have to do with just limit breaking Nappa. A lot of them don't actually have really anything much else to focus on. Most of them are just limit breaking Nappa. So that's something nice. It's not anything too crazy. There's not even a friendship mission or anything like that. So it's really straightforward. Jumped a little bit ahead. Obviously finished all of the missions, or all of these stages. It was quite a long event actually, with a lot of branching missions. So it was pretty crazy actually. But yeah, overall it was also not too bad. Pretty chilled, pretty relaxed. Was very easy. There was like very few mission requirements to even use Nappa. And what you'll do is you'll end up unlocking a whole bunch of new missions. You'll end up unlocking a whole bunch of daily missions. You'll end up unlocking a whole bunch of bonus missions, and you'll end up unlocking a whole bunch of challenge missions. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at those missions now. I do, of course, suggest training Nappa. Also, I suggest doing the best you can to complete the challenges. And then by completing those challenges, you will be able to essentially raise his soul boost system, which I think is very, very good. So I think you should definitely look at increasing his soul boost by completing the challenges, because that is going to be something that's going to help you. And you can pick those up, like I said, by completing the challenges here. It's not necessary. These missions and stages are very, very easy, even with literally just using like just a leveled up Nappa. So there's not too much to be too concerned about. Obviously, there's a couple missions. So this is a very special mission that's going to unlock some more. So that's why I've kind of left this one. And then there's a daily mission that you can run, which you want to complete, so that you can get the daily Z power for Nappa. And then there's some other missions as well that are available each and every single day. So yeah, you obviously want to unlock these missions as quickly as possible. In terms of soul boosting Nappa, that's mainly going to come down from completing your challenges. If I'm honest, the appeal of like fully leveling Nappa isn't that big a like attraction, at least not to me. Nappa is okay, like he's a okay unit. Like I said, you're not really going to utilize him a lot, so it isn't too mandatory to all of a sudden like focus on getting Nappa done. There are plenty other events exclusive units that you're actually going to want to focus on. So realistically, I honestly cannot say like, okay, you 100% need to make sure that you get Nappa, because if you don't get Nappa, then you're going to be having a bad time. Like, it's definitely not that way inclined. I think Nappa is solid but unspectacular. So realistically, what you want to do is you want to do it for obviously the chrono crystals that come from the missions related to Nappa, and you also want to do it for the possibility to get the skip tickets and to get the skip tickets and to get the energy that are available from the event. So you'll see that the event drops a whole bunch of these different currencies, from screws to metal plating to microchips, just basically a whole bunch of stuff. And if you go to the exchange shop, you will basically be able to trade this in for some pretty decent value stuff. There's a little bit of Z power for Nappa and the Goten and the Trunks that give you the boost. So this is where you can pick up some of that. But that's not really what I think is the high value stuff here. Personally speaking, like, I think there's a lot more value in picking up the energy and the skip tickets. That's really where I think a lot of players are going to find that value. And there's also a challenge mission for 50 chrono crystals. There's a decent amount of chrono crystals available. And there's also the chrono crystals from the Nappa missions, which is about 200. So there's about 250 to 300 chrono crystals in total, which is obviously something that's super duper helpful. And then, of course, there's also decent energy and skip tickets as well. So there is some intrinsic value in this event beyond just getting the Nappa. So although Nappa he's not bad. I mean, it's always good to pick up a unit. I think there's actually more value in the byproducts that you get of the event rather than the Nappa that you get from the event himself. Although, I mean, who's going to say no to 200 easy chrono crystals, especially if you're in desperate need of them. So for me, I think this event is pretty solid from that perspective. So yeah, I think that's really it when it comes to the Elite Soldier N. You're welcome to get invested into it or not. I think the fights are super easy, like really, really easy. So there's no real negative to doing the event. It's not going to take you a lot of time. I think the most challenging aspect is actually completing some of the challenges for these stages, because it's actually quite difficult to just complete some of the stages, since a lot of them require you to fire 5 attacks or 6 attacks or things like that, and the enemy actually very often dies before you can even kind of get into the headspace of taking them on and things like that. Like, they'll die before you can complete certain challenges and things like that. So generally what I did was I just didn't basically train Nappa to a certain extent. I just left him as is. I didn't train him, didn't do anything, just left him to basically be like a level 2000 odd. Used him to often complete some of the attacks and finish some of those things, and then that basically enabled me to finish a lot of the individual challenges to these stages. So yeah, was pretty crazy, but at the end of the day was also quite worth it, just from the perspective of getting those stones, grabbing a couple more stones, grabbing some more skip tickets and energy. It's quite an efficient event from that perspective. So yeah, all really, really, really quite simple. I think if you are looking for resources, it's a good event to pick up from that perspective. Whereas I think if you aren't necessarily looking for resources, it's maybe not as high value to pick up. Then in terms of these 3 challenge events, you just choose one. They will drop 1,000 of a select currency. The currencies don't really matter too much, but they obviously do relate to certain characters. So if you're looking to pick up Goten, for example, from the Nappa shop or the exchange shop for the event, then obviously you're going to want to, maybe focus on getting a certain type of currency that will enable you to get Goten, for example. But it's only 100 Z power, so it's really not anything too crazy. But yeah, rather just focus on the one that you want. As you can see, the event was really easy. We finished it super duper quickly, so there's really nothing that crazy to it. So you just go for whatever you think is okay, and you'll be more than fine. There's really no need for you to stress yourself too much. But yeah, there's a lot of stages. So it is a little bit of a longer event, but it's, at the end of the day, it's nothing too bad. You'll get a decent amount of reward out for it if you invest into it. And if you don't, you're not going to lose too much. At most you're losing 300 chrono crystals and an okay event exclusive character. But yeah, if you are looking for some emergency chrono crystals, take it, and you'll be really happy that you did, and it will still give you some pretty solid value. Besides, you can use them for things like Zenkai, Space Rush Light, etc. So yeah, you do you. I think everyone's kind of more than fine with whatever happens. So yeah, but that's going to be it from me, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Just thought I'd run you guys through this event and bring it to your attention. But that's going to be it from me. Bye.